and I shared with you guys not only my Google slideshow that I use to teach this, but also the Google Slides for Beginners cheat sheet. I think I just heard somebody else pop in, but if you have questions during this time, please feel free to throw them in the chat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to pause a certain point and I will answer your questions. So the first thing that we need to know how to do is how do you create a Google slideshow? So when you open a new tab, you get your Google page. Mine is spacey because I'm spacey. You're going to click on your waffle, and you are going to go into, if it works, you're going to go into your Google Drive. You want to create all of your slideshows, all of your Google Docs, all of these things. You want to always start from Google Drive. Google Drive should be your first place, because if you start by making it in the folder where you want it to live, it is already there. So instead of just going to the Docs homepage or the Slides homepage and creating it there, if you do it this way, then it will automatically live in the folder you created it in, and it makes your life a lot easier later on when you're doing Drive organization, which you and I have to do. So I want this to live in my professional development Google folder, which is going to take a minute here. I heard some chats come through. Let me see. Anybody chatting? Oh, Rob did I don't know why it's not letting Rob join, but I just added him. Oh, yes, I can. Let me do it on the phone. All right, let's see if this lets me do this. All right, now it's starting to work. All right. All right, so in my how-to cheat sheet, Megan, I'm forwarding you the email now. It's on my phone. Sorry, it's probably why my internet's slow. Should be good. All right. Let me see if I can turn on my hotspot. That'll make things go a little bit better. Come on, Google. Let's try this again. See, even the tech coach has tech issues, you guys. Don't feel bad. Well, actually, while I'm trying to get this to work, I can talk to you a little bit about in that presentation, the what is Google Slides and who can use it. So basically, Google Slides is your PowerPoint for the Google apps. It does almost every single thing that PowerPoint can do. I have loopholes around most everything. If there's something that you use PowerPoint for and you want to do it in Google Slides, the thing that I've learned the most about it is that it's all just a change of vocabulary. Slides does the same thing, it's just called something different. So to access those things, just let me know and I can help you. Some of the uses that I have come across, you can do obviously presentations, you can make animations. Oh, here we go. I know that Ed Gonzalez in 8th grade, he does the Tech with the Kids. He teaches them how to make animations. You can create your own Jeopardy. They have tons of templates out there. You could do your own like choose your own adventure stories. You can work on shared presentations. So with Google Slides, a lot of times if you give an assignment in Google Classroom and you assign it just to a few kids, give them all editing access, the kids can each be working on their own slide at the same time without, like in a Google Doc, it pushes it down or the formatting. If everybody's on their own slide at the same time, it's not going to mess with anyone else's. That was especially nice when we were at school. Goodness, it's killing me. When we were at school and we had the places have the huddle tables, so the kids can plug 4 Chromebooks in. They can have 4 different screens going. They can each be working on their own slide, all within the same Google slideshow. So that was nice too. All right, I am going to just try and do it here. All right, so I'm in my how-to cheat sheets and videos. I'm going to create from here a Google Slides presentation. Maybe. For those of you who are wondering, in that slideshow, I'm going to show you this. It shows that page where it has all these things I'm talking about. You can make ebooks, all this stuff. There's a link for each one of those. So if you click on the link, it takes you to the website that tells you how to do that. And then the next, this thing hates me. I just want to open a Google Slide. Why can't I do that? Obviously, you can see all the different how-to sheets I need. So if you see anything under there you need, let me know. I could share it with you. I'm going to turn off my grid view. The echoey thing is because, Nancy, some people, let's see, some people aren't muted. If I can mute everyone, it should get better. I'm also on my headset. I don't know if that, I'm just doing that because my kids are right in the other room and I'm trying to be homeschool mom plus tech coach. All right, here we go. Create in a shared folder. Yes, I'm going to create and share. Please work. Let me get rid of my Google Drive here just so hopefully with less tabs open it works. All right, here we go. So I am now in my Google Slide presentation. While it's loading, I'm going to name the different parts, and you'll see within my how-to sheet that I sent you guys, you don't have a printer at home, I'm sorry, but what I did was I talk about each section, I name each section, and at the bottom I tell you what pages within that packet I talk about the section. So for example, up here, number 1, this is the menu bar, and that's going through in pages 4 and 5. Number 2 right here, this is the toolbar. This is your left toolbar, and this is your right toolbar, all right? So we're gonna start right from the beginning. We're gonna start on the menu bar, which is right at the top. The first thing you should always do, because nobody likes having 500 untitled docs or untitled presentations, is name your presentation. So to do that, all you do here is hover over this. I click once, and it highlights the whole thing. And I'm just gonna call this Google Slides 101. There you go. And now I can click anywhere else in to get out of that. And now it's saved, all right? The star next to it, ooh, I'm moving slow today. The star here, I can star it if it's gonna be a really important file and I wanna find it immediately within my Google Drive. And then there'll also be a folder that pops up here after I start editing it. And that just tells me, oh, there it is. That just tells me where it is within my Google Drive. So if I decided I want to move it later on, I can click on that and I can put it directly in the folder that I want it to be in. So for example, right now it's in that Google Apps folder, the how-to cheat sheet. I want it to be in my Google Apps. I'm going to click on the arrow to move over, see if I can move it that way. And I actually have one that's called Google Slides. There it is. So I'm going to click on that once. And then I'll click on the move here. There we go, it's highlighted. I'm gonna hit move. And now, even though I couldn't get it through Google Drive to move because Drive was being very slow and clunky, now I know it's right within there. And you can see here, it's organizing right now. I could click on this, it'll tell me again where it is. There it is, okay, dismiss. So that's just another thing on how to do that. These up here, this opens my comments, because you can make comments on slides. And it opens the history for all time. So if I make comments on somebody's slide, like one of my students, and they delete them all, I can always go there and it opens them all back up. All right, so let's talk about some of these, the menu bar here. The menu bar. Now on this page, I go into very much detail on all of them. I'm just going to show you a couple new things that you can do, but for the most part, I use the toolbar right here. I don't use the menu bar for a ton of stuff. File, you can insert new slides, duplicate, delete slides, change background. But again, that's all stuff you can do with this right here with the toolbar. You can add slides here. I can copy and paste if I click right on that and do my 2-finger tap for a right click. I can copy and then I can click underneath and I can again 2-finger tap to paste, or if you know the keystroke, Control V, which is just paste. So then it'll add the new slides. So if I have a bunch of slides where the background is the same, or if I'm going to be creating something that's similar throughout and you just want to copy and paste, you can do it that way. You can even copy and paste within different slideshows. So I had a teacher today who's a special area teacher and said, you know, all the different grade levels at my school are sharing the same like format, a slideshow, but I just want one per each team. So I'm going to create one for each grade level and then copy and paste it in the 4 different ones. Paste. It's not working. Oh, there it is. Okay, so there it goes. All right, now the big one I use is insert. So on the file, insert, you can insert images, insert text boxes, insert video, shapes, all these things. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's start with what my slide looks like right now. You can see here when they give you the initial slide, they set up a theme. You can pick a theme, you can change it to whatever you want. You can use one of the pre-made themes, that's totally fine. I'm a super crazy person and I like to make my own. I like to make it look like whatever I want it to look like. But you can see when I click on add, or this theme, the focus theme, it changes all of my slides to that theme, all right? So I'm gonna go back to just the plain theme. Simple light, and then I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need that over there, and I want my slideshow to be as big as possible, so I'm going to exit it out. Now, it also has title and subtitle. Now, again, personal preference, but I usually get rid of those, and to do that, I can click here to add the title, and the text will go away, or I can click, see how my mouse becomes the compass rows? If I click there, it highlights the whole box, and I'm just going to hit my backspace button, and it just deletes that whole text box. And same with this. Click to add subtitle. I don't want that, so I'm going to click on it. It's highlighting. I'm deleting it. So now I just have a blank slide. The other thing is, like this one right here, I added by copy and paste it. I can just delete that slide. I can 2-finger tap on it and hit delete. If I want to add a bunch of slides that are all the same format, right here, here's the blank, right? If you just click add slide, it's just going to give you a slide with this format. And I don't really like that format. So usually when I do it, I end up deleting it anyway. So again, right here, to add a slide, I click on this with the layout, and then I go right to blank. All right, so I have my slide. I want to create a title. I want it to be fancy. You could totally use the text box, but let's do something. It's kind of fun. Or do some word art, right? So here's my word art, Google Slides. Great, just like in Microsoft, you do word art. With this, you can change the size. I just clicked and dragged it. I'm gonna drag it this way. You can change all sorts of stuff with it, all right? I'm going to use the fill color to change the color of it. It's purple. This right here does the border color of it. I can change the font itself. So if I have like a super fancy font, what do I have that's fancy? Oh, here we go. Very fancy. I can click on that. It's going to make the word art look like that font. Now, the reason I use word art is because if you're making something that's interactive for students, that's a Google slide, and you don't want them to necessarily change the text, they can change it. I mean, they just have to double click on it. But if it's something you want them to be able to drag around, so if you want to give them options, hey, slide the words that go with the certain boxes in that box. They can click it and drag it. It's not like when I add a text box. I'll show you. You can do it here, insert text box, or again, I usually use just the toolbar, text. Now you can see the text box. Even if I click on the outside of the text box, I can change it to that same font, right? I can change the color by clicking on the A or whatever, same color. I can change the background of it so they can see where the text box is. There it is. Here we go. But when kids click on it and they go to move it, see how now it changes the text? And if I try and click on it here and try and move it, it doesn't really work. So it does, but kids, it changes and stuff. This right here, if I just click on this, it doesn't open it unless I forcibly double tap on it. So that's the difference between word art and just using a text box. The word art is really nice for moving things around. All right. Going right through my list here. All right, I guess I got away from what I was doing here, but again, file. You can bring in new presentation. You could bring in templates. You could import slides from other Google slideshows that you have. You can make a copy of this, the entire presentation, or just selected slides. So let's say you have a really long slideshow that you've been putting together that has like the last 3 weeks, and you just want to pull them out slide by slide. That is selected slides. You can download it. So if you're working on this and you want to download it as, let's say, a PDF or an image, if you want it to be an image, you can do that. You can create images on here, and then you can always import them back in to be your background or whatever. Email it as an attachment. That's kind of sharing. You can make it available offline. If your Wi-Fi is spotty, you can do that. Work on it, and then when you're back on Wi-Fi, it'll upload. I just caution people to work on things online. If something happens to it and it hasn't been backed up, you will lose all of your changes. So please be careful when doing that. Version history, again, you could see the version history. You can click up here to do that as well. Every change you make is automatically saved in Google as long as you're connected to the internet. Rename it, but again, all you have to do is click on where this name is, move it, publish it to the web. That's if you want to use it on a website, embed it, anything like that. You can change the language when you're typing. Here's one that you can only do in the file, page setup. Now, I've had people ask me about doing PDFs and how do I make a PDF so it's editable or whatever. Well, one way that I've seen people do it is you can go into page setup, create custom, and you can make it, let's see, 8.5 by 11, apply. You can make it so it looks like a page. There it is. Now it looks like a page. And now what I can do is I could take my PDF and import it and lay it over top, but import it as an image, and then just have the kids write their text box over top. You can put text box over top. And if you have questions about that, let me know, and I can show you how to do it or send you a link on how to do that better. But that is definitely an easy way to make a PDF editable. All right, I'm going to do my Control Z, which undoes my last option, turn it back to this. So again, to do that, it's under File, Page Setup, Print Settings and Preview. At this point, you probably don't need to do that, but that's where you would go into to be able to change how it's set up. If you have speaker notes, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, underneath each one, you may want to have your speaker notes shown. You could do up to like 4 slides per page. So if you want just a bunch of small squares on a page, you could do it that way. Let's say if I want to have 3 per page, and then I want to be able to share it with kids this way, I can download it as a PDF and then share this view with them. So that's another option. Let's see. View, this is how you're going to view it. Sometimes people get into the wrong view and they get all thrown off and they call me and they're like, I don't know what I did. But basically, it's just like down here. There's another view you could do. It's called grid view, which you only have a few slides you're working on. You may want to work on it this way. But for the most part, I think people like using the menu view, which shows this way. All right, insert. So there's really great things about Google Slides. One of them is you can insert images. You can upload them from your computer. You can search the web. And if you do that, searching the web, it's going to bring up a Google Images file search to the right. The cool thing about this, there's negative and a positive, right? Only select images you have a confirmed license you can use. Now, usually when I go into Google Images, I can look for images of anything, and it just comes up with millions of image hits, right? When you do it within a Google app, it usually only gives you things that have a public license. So right now, you can tell what's on my brain. I'm going to talk about coffee. So the things that show up are only going to have things that have public license. I'll click on it and insert it. Now, if I went to images.google.com, it would give me a lot of different images, and that's fine. Quick and easy. I don't have to leave my slide presentation. You can see how slow my internet is working right now, how it's loading. It would be even slower if I had to go outside of this. So now that my image is here, I can move it. Remember, if you're not presenting or you're not sharing with the kids, you can even move it off the screen. So I have Google Slide presentations where I give the kids a math problem and it's a money problem. And I put it right on the thing and I say, okay, use the coins to the left to show me how much this is worth. And then what they do is they click and drag the coins over and they put it on the slide where I tell them to. So it makes it interactive, but it wouldn't be if I was presenting it, I wouldn't be able to see it, correct? The other thing I want to point out is when you're resizing an image, all these different formatting things come up, but always resize, pull from the corners, because if you pull from the corners, it doesn't mess with the sizes here. So if I do that, it makes it really tiny and it gets all weird. Control Z. So there we go. I heard a comment come in. Let's see if somebody has a question. Math symbols. Oh, that's a good question. So let's talk about math in a second. All right, I'll give you math in a second. Because there are certain ways you can do things, but again, there's never an easy way, right? So that was insert. The other thing I encourage people to do is by camera. So I'm going to insert a picture by camera. And what that means is I can tell the kids, hey, I want you to do this math problem. And then when you're done, show me a picture of your work. I go there. I click take a picture. There it is. I hit insert. So now, even I can give them a math problem. Speaking of math, Megan, give them a math problem. They can do it on paper. And then all I have to do is hold it up to the camera to show me their work. So what I was doing was I was doing a math problem on each slide and give the kids a chance to put their math work on the side so I could still see their work, right? All right. I can also insert audio. This has been a lifesaver for a lot of the elementary and intermediate folks because with that, they can record their voice. They could put it on a slideshow. Just tell the kids if they can't read, they can click on the audio. It comes up as a little speaker. Here, I'll do it right now. So if I have these audio tracks in here already from my drive, if you don't know how to take audio, there's an online thing called Vakaroo, and I will send that link out to everyone. I'll write it right now. VOCAROO. It automatically saves to your Google Drive, Vakaroo. The other one is your Chromebook has here it is, Vakaroo. Your Chromebook has a camera and a microphone right in it. So to access that, you hit your launcher down here and you click this plus. Here's my audio recorder. So here it is. You can see that I'm talking. You can see the waves going. To do it, I'm going to click this. This is my test for Google Slides 101. I clicked it when I was done. There it is. Now I'm going to click on this, which saves file as. I'm going to save it into my Google Drive, right where I know where it is, right? So again, it's being a little slow right now, but I can save it directly in. You'll see that it automatically saves in my downloads. You want to make sure that you go into where you want it. So here's slides. All right, I'm going to save it. There it is. I can show it in folder, or I'm going to exit out of this. Now I can go to Insert, Audio, my drive. Now because I just did it, I'm going to hit Recent because it'll pop right up. It should. There it is. Select. Creating the audio now. You'll get to see what it looks like when it's on there. Again, this is a great feature for younger kids. So here it is, audio playback. Now, do I want it to play automatically when they get to that slide? Do I want it to loop, keep going on and off? Do I want it to stop? I'm just going to leave it on click, all right? Exit out of there. So now let's try it out, right? So when my kids get there, they'll see it, they click on it. Here's the only thing you need to worry about with that. Once it's done, once you've inserted it, we're all good, right? Make sure that wherever that audio file is stored, you have shared the audio file with the students as well. One of the issues we were coming across was that people were creating audio files, they were storing them in the Google Drive, great, but then they weren't shared with the students. So when the students got here, it would say you need to request access to this. So the kids had to get access. So just create a file in your Google Drive and call it recordings, and just change the sharing access to anyone with the link has access to view, and that should give them all access to listen to it. Does anyone have any questions with the audio piece? I know I just did that pretty. Is there a way to fix the size and font shape throughout the whole slide? Unfortunately, no. Unless you're using a theme. The theme will automatically change things throughout the whole thing, but it's going to mess with everything else. So again, I don't usually do a theme. If I know I'm going to create the same slide over and over, but I'm just going to change the font, what I do is I highlight the slide I want. I do Control C, which is copy. And then I click where I want it. See how I clicked in between the two slides? Control V is paste. And now what I do is I double click on this to just change this. So it keeps the same font, everything's in the same spot. I keep hitting 1010. I can delete this box. I can add something else, right? So now if you see over here, they're still the same like kind of place, but I just changed what it said. All right, let's see what else is in insert. The other thing is using a video. I love inserting videos on Google Slides because I can use or I can use YouTube videos, and it doesn't take the kids to YouTube. So if I'm going to insert a video, I can either just search for it right here. I can search for it if I know the exact URL. If I know what it's called, I can search for it, and it should come up. Once you've found it, once you've found the one that you want, you click on it once, you see how it's highlighted in blue, and I'm going to hit select. So now it's inserted the video. I can choose over to the right if it's going to autoplay while I'm presenting. I can mute it. I can start it at a specific time. So let's say I want to start it at 5 minutes and 24 seconds, and I want it to end at 6 minutes. I only want them to watch that certain part. There we go. So now what happens is, and here's the kicker with this, when the kids click on it, they have to click on the button, but nothing works, right? It has to go into present mode. Oh, well, maybe I was wrong. It looks like it started playing eventually when I double clicked on it. But now I'm in present mode. I hit play. Now look, it skipped right to that. Okay. It skipped right ahead to that thing I wanted. Now it's not going to stop. All right. So, it started where I wanted and it would have stopped where I wanted. So again, another nice feature. Let's see if I double click on it here. It doesn't take me to YouTube. I don't get all of the other stuff on the sides. It keeps the kids focused. It keeps them right there. Now it's not going to work apparently. But you saw. So you may have to put directions in there. Hit the present button. You can do a screenshot of it to show them exactly what you want to do. To do a screenshot, if you're not sure on the Chromebook, you're going to hit the Control, Shift, multiple windows button, which is right above the 6. There you go. You'll see my screen got a little dark. I'm going to highlight. Click. I'm going to copy to my clipboard, and I'll paste it over here. And eventually it'll show up. There it is. So now let's say I want to give the kids some directions. I'm going to click on my text box. I can't spell the, sorry. So here we go. Click the present button to watch the video. So hopefully the kids will be able to see that. Now let's say I do that, but the present goes behind the text. I know that that's happened before. You can layer things differently. So if I'm in the text and I want that to be in the front, I'm going to 2-finger tap to right click, and here it is right here, order. I can bring it to the front, I can bring it to the back, I can send it to the very back, I can center it on the page, I can rotate it. It also comes up over here, the position. I'm not going to do that because I like the way it's set up right now. But there you go. So that was just another little tip right there. Some people like things to be, they like lines, they like to be very neat, they like tables like they use in Google Docs. Under Insert, you can also do a table. I don't use these a lot, but it's totally an option if you want it. And you can type stuff in. You can see here there are options for the table. You can do it that way. You can insert a chart or a graph from Sheets. So if you have some data in Google Sheets and you want the kids to be able to show their data in one of these, it'll give you the chart. They can put it in. Here it is. You can see it's linked right here. I can open up the source. I can change it. I'm not going to go into all that now. This is some more advanced stuff, but I just want to go through it so you know. Some really cool diagrams you can do. You can decide on which diagram you want. I mean, these are pre-made diagrams. See, I always like the cycle. I don't know why. Right here, you can decide on which cycle you want. Let's say I'm going to do the triple Venn diagram. I can now choose how many steps there are. If I want 4, I'll change it to 4. I can do different colors. I like this color. I'm adding them all on top of each other. But once it's there, all I have to do is double click on it, and it'll edit it. You could add other images over top of it. Another cool thing for giving directions, or if you want to create your own images, Science teachers I know really like it. Now once it's there, I X that out. I can drag the ones I have around. You can change it. See how I changed it all? Let's say I'm like, oh, I wanted to drag the whole thing. You would just highlight it, and then I can drag the whole thing around. All right, it would go all together. I know I'm throwing a lot at you. Somebody just put in a question. Let's see. Oops. All right, so Heather asked, can you go back to insert video and explain how to take an iPad recorded video and upload it to my drive and then to my page, then link to remind, or later we can meet up. Heather, I'm not going to lie, I am not an Apple user. So what I would say is if you have the Drive app on your iPad and you know where the videos are stored within Apple, you could upload them to Drive that way. I have a how to post to YouTube. I think that when you're sharing things in Remind or Class Dojo or any of the things to go home, I think the best bet to do that would be to upload things to YouTube and then use a link shortener like Bitly, because I know for a fact with elementary school kids, I'm getting the link for a YouTube thing on my phone for Remind, but then we want to put it on my kid's device so they can watch it, or we want to put it on our smart TV. That's the other nice thing about YouTube. Everyone has a YouTube app if they have a smart TV, so you can watch it together as a family. With the Bitly link or the link shortener, it makes it a lot easier for us to put it up there. I don't have to go in and try and finagle the whole long YouTube thing. So Heather, we can totally meet up later. I know I just threw a lot of things there, but that's kind of the short of it really quick, but we'll definitely talk later. Let me make sure I got through everything on insert. I did word art lines. Again, if you want to create lines, there's all sorts of things. New slides, if you want to number your slides, if you want to comment on something. So let's say your kids are working and you don't want to change what they're doing, but you want to make a comment. I can highlight something and insert comment. And then comment. So I'm not making it change to their actual slideshow. It's just kind of putting it off to the side. All right. So I think I've got everything I need to through insert. Formatting. Again, this is the same as like any Google Doc. You can make your text bold, italic, you can underline. Strike through draws a line directly through. So if you're showing some sort of editing, superscript, subscript, you can change the size, the color. You can do a highlight color, the capitalization. If you did something and you realize you wrote the whole thing in uppercase and you're like, oh my God, because if you're not using a Chromebook, maybe you had caps lock on, you can highlight it and go into lowercase. You can clear the formatting for something. Borders and lines. Again, this is something that's all right here as well, but you can, with the text, change the borders of the text box. You can make them dotted. You can make them fat lines. You can change the color, all of those things. Format also changes with what you're clicked on. If you're on your image, you can change images, excuse me. All right, so under slide, this is where you can do, you can change backgrounds. You can apply a layout. Let's say you decided you don't want to do the blank, but you've already started doing stuff. You can add a title to columns. You can add transitions. So if something is clicked, let's say I have my chart here. I'm going to click on my chart. And I'm going to go into slide transition. And that's going to pop up something on my right toolbar. You can see this is a slide transition. That's when it's presenting into each transition. The object transition, add animation, that's the one that's going to make it appear slowly. So there's the fly in from the left, fly in from the bottom, the zoom in, that's one of my favorites. You can change the speed of it if you want to zoom in. You can make it when you click, or you can make it just automatic. So now if I just play it to see what it looks like, hit play. There it is. That's the speed it'll be at. Now I can either hit stop to end it or just click somewhere on the slide to continue. That's the motion. I can edit my master slide. You can change the theme, all of those things. The arrangement, again, that is sending things in order. So I think you guys know I copied and pasted a whole mess of stuff, a whole mess of charts when I did this. Let's say I want to move that chart to the back, and I want my other one to come forward, or I want to move it to the left. Click left, everything moves to the left. Arrange. I can ungroup it so they're not all together anymore. I can center it on the page. I'm totally messing this thing up. I love it. There you go. I can move this over here. So you can see you can move things on layers, you can move them sides, all those things. All right, tool. If the kids have their spell check on automatically, like underlining errors, it'll spell check, but you may have to go through and actually hit the spell check. If you have linked objects within, it'll show you it's linked. Like right now I have that chart that's linked to a Google Sheet. You can use a dictionary. This is like higher level stuff, but if you want to voice type the speaker notes, so as I'm speaking, I'm going to allow it. So speaker notes are at the bottom. As I'm speaking, you can see that it's typing what I'm saying. It's pretty good at picking up almost everything. This is really great for closed captioning if I'm giving a presentation and my internet may be slow or people may not be catching everything I'm saying. You can see it comes right up at the bottom. All right, I'm going to stop that now. And exit out. I'm trying not to run too many things at once because my internet is slow. So obviously when you do those things, it does take a little more bandwidth. The other thing is, I don't know if you can see this, but these are all my slide notes underneath. You can copy and paste a bunch of stuff into speaker notes underneath. So if there are directions you want to give, you can make them. You can see these three little lines here, the hand pops up. Oops, hold on here. And there it is. I can move my slide. I can put all the directions I want underneath. And I can even edit this so the text is a different color. I can change it. I mean, even this stuff down here, I can copy and paste to different things so that I know if I do it red, the kids will see it like this. The only thing is that now my slide's really small. So if the kids don't know about that, they need to know that they can drag this down like that. All right. But that's just another option. I use that a lot too. Excuse me one second. Parenting from home, it's the best. All right, next, add-ons. Now this is all up to you. If you guys want to add add-ons, these are things that you have to go in and add yourself. You'll see I have a couple on here. If you use Nearpod, there's a great Nearpod add-on. I don't really use Pear Deck. Probably not going to use that very much. There's a toolbox, a translator. That's a great one for if you have ELL students. Images, this just gives you images that aren't copyright. You can get more here. You can manage them here. All right. So I just went through the menu bar and kind of the toolbar at the same time. So I'm just going to keep continuing on with the toolbar. Again, adding a new slide, undo, redo, paint. This is how you, I'm sorry, paint. This is print. This is paint format. What that means is if I want to copy and paste something into my Google slide, I can decide what the formatting will be through there. Here's my zoom. Click on it for zoom. Select, which is if I'm in if I see how I was in that paint, and I want to get out of it, if I just want my arrow again, I click on select. This enters a text box, which I had done before. I'll go down here and do a text box. I'll show you some text box stuff really quick. When I click on it, it automatically comes up as that size. Now, I've had people say, like, how do I get a text box where kids can just type in it? So if you use the same shape or the same text box for each one, all right, so I just said enter your text in the green squares, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some text boxes that I want my kids to answer their questions in. If I do that, I'm going to hit this paint can. That is going to make it green, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them 3, we'll do math problems because I'm running out of time. There's so much to do on this. I'm going to give them 3 problems. So I'm going to make this into a square. There it is. I'm going to make it green. Now I want 3 of them for this. So I'm going to copy, Control C, and then I'm going to paste, Control V, and then Control V one more time. I'm going to drag my text box to where I want it. There we go. Now I know I told my kids to answer in the green squares. So when they go to put their answer, they double click and the text automatically shows up. If you do it consistently throughout, the kids will just get it. They'll know where to go. Now, there is an add-on for the math teachers. There is a add-on for math symbols. One of the things that I've always done that I've had success with, if I can't type up the problem because I need special characters, I type it all up in a Google Doc, and then what I do is I just use that, I use the screenshot to copy and paste the problem over. And when I do that, I don't have to worry about the kids changing my text. It comes over as an image. It stays right there. So I'm just bringing up Math Aids right now. This is one that I use very often. Again, everything that is on here is in a PDF, so I can't copy and paste anything. So I'm going to click on this. It's going to ask me specifically what I want for the problem. Maybe, if it lets it load. There we go. Sure, all that stuff looks great. I'm going to hit create it. So now what I would do is, I think I showed everyone how to do this from the video. When you're doing a split screen, I would have a split screen up. So I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to do my split screen really quick. My other one's split screen. This to the right. Click this one to the left. So I have my split screen up. And again, you could do this for, I know there's art teachers on here, there's music teachers on here right now. Let's say that I wanted to do this for, oh, it's killing me, Smalls. I wanted to do this for any of the other sites. You could put an image, a question. All right, I'm just going to do this really quick. It's usually bigger, and I would do this better, but copy, paste. So I would have them answer the question. There it is right there. Exit out of this, over here. So now my problem is right there. Answer the question above, and then I would have them do the math question right in there. All right, I heard a question come through. Megan, I hope that answers your question. I know that was really quick and a lot, but I am going to share this video with everyone. Can you take screenshots of what you want and then add it as a background with text boxes over the top? You can. If you have an image of, well, it could be whatever you wanted, right? Let's say I want to insert an image. That's a good question. And I was going to search the web for an actual background, right? I had to do a mountain scene because, oh, wouldn't that be nice? Oh, it'd be so nice right now. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to insert. Now, because I already have some stuff on there, it's going to go right over top, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down in the corner. And then I'm going to click on the corner here, and I'm going to highlight it all the way up so it fills the whole background. Now this one, it's a little offset, which is fine. I'll just use an example. Now, are you ready? I'm going to do that 2-finger tap, and I'm going to do the order send to back. So now that's my background. So I have my text boxes still on top. The only thing is the kids can like click on that and would be able to move it. If I wanted that to be my actual background, I would just go to background, insert image. I can search, Google image search again here, maybe. And again, the thing with this is that you want to make sure the image that you find is going to be large enough to fit. Let's see. One of the same one, but this one looks pretty great. I could go for some mountains and a lake. So I'm going to click on that. If I hit add to theme, it's going to make the background in every single slide that same thing. If I just want it on this one, I'm going to hit done. So now let me click this. I'm going to delete that. Now you can see there's my beautiful mountain scene. I'm doing some math problems, pretending I'm at the lake with my lemonade. It's lovely. All right, so that's how you do background. Let me add another slide down here. Add new slide with layout. Let's say, so now I have this new slide, and I decided, oh man, I really meant to have this slide first. Over here on number 4, I can see, I highlighted the slide. You can see it's orange right here. I'm going to click on it, and I can just drag it into the order I want. All right. The other thing that's cool about over here, the left toolbar, on this, I can see there's a comment, and there's also an animation on that slide. So if I wanted to make sure I had every slide has an animation, all I have to do is look to the side, and that'll show me which animations I'm going to have. All right. So let me see if I have anything else. Background. Let's say I wanted just a color. I really like the gradients because fancy stuff. I'm going to do that. Beautiful background. I can put anything over top of that now. It's not going to change. The kids can't pull it like the specific image like you were talking about, Nancy, before. Let's see. I want to make sure I got through everything else. Again, I'm literally going through that Google Slides 101 pamphlet that I shared with you. Those, if you haven't been able to, if you didn't get the email, or if you're listening to a recording of this, all of them are under the Google Classroom for the school, and they're under Google Apps and Help, and all of this is just under that. There's a lot of other like higher level things that you can do with Google Slides. Again, I think it's a great tool to create and then share on your Google Classroom. Create one for each kid. The kids have access to all these cool things. You can make them look however you want. The last thing I'm going to show you, though, because I do get this a lot, is let's say you want to share something with the kids, but you don't want to share it in this mode. You want to share it in presentation mode. Now, to do this, you have to watch carefully. You have to make sure, first of all, it's shared with everyone. And right now, if I look at my share button here, it says anyone with the link. So that's in sharing settings. If you go into sharing settings, advanced, you can click on that option. I can tell because my little guy is right here with the link. If it's shared only to you, it'll just be a little padlock. So I know that's there. I'm going to click on the name, the URL, it's a very long name, and I'm going to go all the way to the right side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now delete all the way back to where you see the word edit, and I'm going to now write the word present. Now, copy this whole thing. I do Control-Shift up, Control-C to copy. Now, when I share this with anyone, I'm going to share just that link, hit enter, and it will only share it in present mode. It will not show the left toolbar. It will not show the right toolbar. The kids will not be able to edit it, but they can listen. They can, give me 1 minute, buddy. They can watch the videos. See, it's not going anywhere. It's keeping me here. Go. It's starting from right where I wanted it to. But you can see here, there's no toolbars. There's nothing on the sides. It's just getting it in present mode. So one more time, you copy it, go all the way to the end, delete all the way up to where it says edit, and you write the word present. And then that is the link that you would share with people. The other thing really quick I wanted to show you is the link shortener. The one I use is called bit.ly, bit.ly. Really easy. You can go in, make a free account with Google. It stores all your old links. You can rename them. So if you want to create a link that says bit.ly dot, Google Slides 101, as long as nobody else has already have that, you can use that. Really great thing to use for parents, because the long emails that you're sent, when you send a really long link, and if they want to use it on a different device, especially for the littles, it's difficult to do that. This is my bit.ly, so you can see I have a free account. I've got over 280 things on here that I've been working with people. All right. Let's see if there's anything else. Nancy, they cannot type answers if it's on present mode. Present mode would be for a lecture or something like that, or if you want the auto play. Heather had a question about K through 2 sharing through a Homer Pride email. The kids should be logged in on their device with their Homer Pride email. That would totally work, but they would have to know to go into Shared with Me and find those things. They do not have access to their emails. They turned on email for grades 3 through 5, but I don't think 3rd grade is actually using it with the teachers, but the kids do have access to it. So for sharing things within that, that is an option as well. You could do a worksheet as a background or math problems, right? Yeah, Nancy had it. That's a good question. You could screenshot a math sheet and then just put the text boxes over it, or have the kids write their work out and then put it up there when they're done. All right. It is 10:59. My children are climbing the walls right next to me outside of my office. So I am going to stop recording. But if you have any other questions, please let me know. I'm also going to stop presenting. Does anyone have any questions at this point? The sun is shining. We should all go outside. I'm going to go take my kids for a walk to get their lunch for the day. I hope you're all staying well. You're welcome. I miss all your faces and your smiles. And when we come back, I'm hugging every single one of you, so you better watch out. You can come say bye to everybody. Come here. All right.
Thank you, Lancy.
Lucian says bye. And Mira says bye. Bye. Have a great day, everybody. There's Mrs. Horton.
Hi, Mrs. Horton.
And Mrs. Robidoux just left. I think you just missed her. All right. There's Ms. Byrne. Hi, Ms. Byrne. All right.
Almost everybody's on me. Mrs. Robidoux.
I think Mrs. Robidoux left.
But no, it says Mr. Robidoux.
I know, but her camera's off. I think she just turned her camera off. Oh, no, she's right there.
Oh, I'm still here. I was trying to figure out how to get it on.
Let me turn on the volume. I'm on my speaker here. Oh.
No, I don't hear you.
All right, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can. Hi.
Oh, she can hear us. There she is.
Mrs. Robidoux.
How are you?
Good.
You doing good? You gonna go outside and play today?
Yeah. We're hoping to ride our bikes to Homer.
We were talking about riding our bikes over to Homer to get lunch. We'll ride right by your house.
Yeah, Homer's a good place to ride bikes. Lots of sidewalks.
I know. The problem is like we're so close. There's that one bridge we have to cross, the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
And we live right near the hospital, so it's so close. But just getting over that bridge with these guys, they're good on their bikes, but it's just a little.
I know the cars are going by. It's a little like, ooh.
It might be okay to start trying now, though, because there's not a lot of traffic out. So this might be a good time to start practicing going over the bridge.
True.
My ankle.
Well, have a fun day.
We will. I know. We've taken over my husband's office. Poor guy.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I've taken over too.
I know. All right. Well, stay healthy. We miss you.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Lucian.